Sorry, I know Dr. Swansea wanted you to rest, but we have somewhat of a crisis.
A crisis, you say?
Our supply of antiseptics is nearly depleted. I was hoping there was another box up here, but...
Одна коробка, Сась. Я понял.
Sorry, there's nothing here.
Some of the patients won't last the night without them. Honestly, sir, I'm beside myself.
I may have a solution. In France, during the war, drugs shortage was a daily problem, and we had to use our wits to overcome the shortages.
However do you mean?
If combined correctly, certain household chemical products can be used in a pinch instead. Now, where's the hospital storeroom?
The storeroom? Fat chance. This is the Pembroke, and space is luxury we don't have. Everything used to be stored in the old morgue.
Perhaps I should look there first. Where is this morgue?
It's the large building behind the hospital. You'll need to go in the back door because it's been sealed off for sanitary reasons. Take this key. It opens a small back entrance at the end of a narrow street.
The abandoned morgue behind the hospital. A small door at the end of a narrow street. On my way then. Thank you, nurse.
И тебе спасибо, мой вампир, которого мы будем сейчас просто всех убивать, перекопчивать. Так, у меня первый уровень гипноза. Давайте мы просто похаваем. Кем-нибудь похаваем. Этого мы не сможем убить. Этого, возможно, сможем.
Good evening, sir. Can I help you?
Unless you're here to fix my face. No.
Можно я выпью твою
I
кровь?
don't think you can help me.
I'm Dr. Reed. I've recently taken the position of head surgeon here. War injuries, am I right?
You guessed right, Doctor. German shell took my
Извиняюсь,
pretty
если вы
little
доверите.
mug right off. But they still call me Thomas Elwood.
Просто хотел удостовериться. Ну давай зададим личный вопрос. Ну что же нам надо еще? О, нет. Мы просто всех поубиваем. Точно. Мы будем всех убивать. Никому, извиняюсь, не похер то, что мы тут это разгуливаем. Сам канон. Тебе ну нефиг жить, я знаю твою историю.
So this is how it ends. Farewell, my life, you betrayed me, good.
Я чувствую себя злодеем, но мне так и надо, в принципе. Я знаю, что поставить в результате моих действий. Я прям прекрасно это понимаю. Давайте мы пойдем к нашему любимцу, который любит советоваться с мамой. Понятно. Кто что про меня хочет сказать? А, давайте перейдем по заданию. Не знаю почему, у меня первая часть не сохранилась, но я ненавижу это такие дела. Я просто час разболтался, час болтал. У меня не всегда такое хорошее настроение, вы же знаете, ну.
Scowl voices in the garden.
Скали.
I should investigate.
Люблю скали.
If they were to find somebody.
Ты чё, дебил? Выносливость. Нет, не надо. Может, ножом. Ну вот ты кусаешь, ты не кусай. Не кусай, сказал. Все, сосать боятся, все. Сосать боятся. Опа, потрошки. Хотя мне, в принципе, они и не нужны. Рычи мне тут, блядь, еще. Искали. Идемте ко мне. Я не кусаюсь. Ну. Блядь, дроча, стреляют. Что только, блядь, не делают. Педики, точно. Да, точно педики. Ой, я знаю, что мне надо сюда. Мне нужны ингредиенты, которых мне...
It's locked, all right.
Что? Ну, как бы это... Больше меня своими мусорками напугаете, чем... Заебали, блядь. Больше меня пугаете своими, блядь, мусорками и скамейками, чем своими скалями, своими монстрами, которых мне никто не боится вообще. Конечно, я могу обосраться прям. Ну только не на камеру. Вообще здесь должны были скари быть, но где они сейчас? У меня просто вот, ну, огромный вопрос. На втором этаже, понятно. Блин, там походу не только скари. Давай, давай. Тебе не идет кусаться. Здесь кусаюсь только я.
Behavior is similar to the infected William Bishop. Must be the same strain. This sickness moves faster than influenza. It's locked.
Понятно.
This key will surely grant me access to the basement.
Откуда появился дебил? Такие придурки, я вообще. Их поискать надо. О, образец разбавленного гусокровия. Давай, давай. Тут... Вспомните, что я говорил 2 минуты назад, что я не обосрусь от этих монстров? Забудьте про это. Просто, блин, забудьте.
These scouts feed from corpses and husks of animals.
Тут очень
They're not after blood.
балансная хрень по поводу уровней. То есть у меня 5-й, у него 6-й, у меня очень маленькая преимущество, что я выиграю. Только... тупой бот. Давай, иди сюда. Пососешь. Да ты заколебал, уйди отсюда. Ну, профессия, гуляет. Спасибо. Спасибо большое. Так, хинин. Аптечку сохраню. Та-да. Кто? Блин. Я высосу. Да, что ты повернул? Дебил еще тут, конечно. Прощай. Ой, фу, вонючая шея у тебя. Бля. Можно дверь не закрывать? Я обосру сейчас на дверей. О, мини-босс, я так понял, да? Жандоу. Откуда имя взял? Кусь. Нахер пошел от меня. Блин, страшно это пиздец. Ну, я... Выносливость. Да это кофе выпил. Да, как я выпил? Кидаться на меня не надо. Ты лысый, не кидайся. Я хочу тебя именно укусом убить.
These skulls can be so ferocious. I'm not sure I can defeat them without becoming stronger.
Нет, да?
To drink blood is so tempting.
А то я глазастый прям, да. Так, могу сварганить что-нибудь? Я пока это исследую. А сделать-то я ничего не могу. Представляете, ничего сделать не могу. Надо прям выносливать, прям включать. Ну это вообще. Ну как этот? Сейчас скажу. Слова сейчас подберу. Да пошли ты нахер. Ну. А, ребятура, я могу тебя просто нахер послать. взять вот этот укус, который был сейчас последний. Потому что я буду часто им пользоваться. Прям очень часто буду пользоваться. И он еще урона будет мне хорошо наносить. Так, здесь есть что? Нет, я себя путал. Эпедик. Не подходи ко мне. Это опасный перец. С этими червями. Пока. Пока еще. Ты же сдох, нет? Кусаться? Вредно, Скаля. Вредно. Нельзя так делать. Фу. Это вообще наверх мне надо, да? Пойдем наверх. Это страшно тут что-то.
Balls of Mars, fortifiers. As popular as they are ineffective. But they do contain iron tartrate, and that might
Ништяк.
prove itself useful.
Нет, ничего. А можно еще наверх пойти? Можно, но ничего. Я найду. Так, здесь выход, да? Аж 1655 опыта. На первое время, я думаю, хватит. Еще тут. Я тут в роли местного барыги, а вы это... Не думайте, что я конченый мудак. Здравствуйте.
Good evening. I'm Dr. Reed. Always a pleasure to meet a colleague, sir. Especially when he was supposedly dead.
A colleague? Are you a doctor too?
Not anymore, sir. I used to be Dr. Rakesh Chadana. Now, I'm just Mr. Chadana, pawnbroker and humble guardian of this morgue.
What do you mean, you used to be a doctor? Was your license revoked?
No, sir. It is just that I like to be precise. I run a little pawn shop while taking care of the dead. But I used to be a real doctor.
Ну, торговать, я думаю, тут нету смысла. Четвертый уже гипноз, это ёб твою мать. Давайте встретим. Давайте. Ну так что он черный. Мы думали, мы встречались. Ну, давайте мы это узнаем.
Have we met before?
I don't think so, sir. Why?
When we first talked, you said you were glad to meet me since I was reported dead.
Funny story, sir. Your sister came here a few nights ago. You were missing, and she was looking for your body. She must be very relieved now.
Но она как бы мертва, как бы нет. Спойлер.
Are you afraid or uneasy being surrounded by so many corpses?
Why should I? These bodies are empty vessels. Flesh left to decay. Poof. No soul anymore. All gone.
Ну, в принципе, можно, да.
An interesting point of view. And quite an exotic one, too. Most people fear, or at least have a respect, for dead
С
flesh.
почтением.
As a medic during the war, I learned to face my death and the death of others. It's the pain
Мы
we
должны
have
бороться
to
с
take.
болью. Ты
Not
что,
death,
священник?
sir.
Подсказка, да я понял. 3000, вот ё-моё. Ничем не болит, вы прикиньте. 3000 опыта. Информация о горожанине. Вы вампир, и для развития навыков вам нужна кровь. Индикатор качества крови указывает, сколько опыта вы получите, если Выпейте кровь горожанина. Найдите подсказки, увеличивают... Найденные подсказки увеличивают опыт. Я так понял, да. Так, это те, кого мы знаем. И скоро у нас будет второй уровень гипноза, как я знаю. Так. Найти в сундук потерянный бумажник.
How did you get this job?
After I left the army,
Специально я ужасся
I
ограбовщиком.
worked
На
as an
кладбище
undertaker
преступников
down by the
там
docks.
встречается много.
A dangerous place with many an unpleasant
Приятных
business.
историй. Милтон Хукс помог мне
Milton Hooks helped me get a
перебраться
job
сюда.
here.
Ну, я рад, что он помог себе перебраться сюда. Вы работаете здесь один?
Do you work here alone?
Yes, very easy work, sir.
Проверка несложная.
All I
Я
have to do
просто
is watch a few
присматривал за
bodies.
парой-тройкой тел.
The situation was very different when the main morgue was still open.
И как же было иначе?
Why do you have to watch these bodies?
Because these
Да,
poor
мне тоже
fellows
интересно.
have no names. We keep them in case someone comes looking for the missing. Sadly, very rarely happens.
Да, или вообще не бывает.
Why close the hospital's main morgue?
It was for sanitary reasons after the beginning of the epidemic. Cadavers had to be moved to the nearest mass grave.
Прикольно.
Please show me what you have to sell.
Или
course.
нет, ну давайте
It's
посмотрим,
just
что хотя бы
trinkets
у
and
него
curios, really.
есть.
But I'm sure they can be useful.
Давайте все купим. Лишним не будет.
It's locked.
Понятно. Дальше, похоже, ключ. Ну, конечно, найти и ключ. Не собой сейчас я не хочу, ты достала меня.
Good evening. I'm Dr.
Добрый
Reed.
вечер, доктор Рид. Я
Can
могу
I
чем-то
help at
помочь?
all? Really?
Нет. Вот как.
Why
Тогда
are you
почему
here?
здесь?
I don't want to
Я не
talk.
хочу говорить, а меня
My
очень
throat
болит горло.
hurts too much.
I suppose that this
Получается,
pain
именно
is
из-за
the
этой
reason
боли
you're
вы
here.
совете. А вы как
Is
вам?
someone taking care of
У
you?
вас кто-то
Yes.
заботится? Да и нет.
And no.
Could you at least tell
Цель,
me your
может,
name?
хотя бы
sir?
назовите свое имя. Мартимер
Госвик.
Госвик. Давайте поинтересуемся жизнью в Лондоне. Давай, ну. Если он так говорит, скорее всего, у него очень сильно пригорно. Давайте поинтересуемся.
How painful is your throat, Mr. Goswick?
И полечим, если это возможно.
Doctor.
Do you need any help?
I'm afraid I may, sir. I don't mean to be a burden.
You are not a burden, sir. Healing you is my responsibility.
And you have my gratitude for that.
Я думаю, мы его убивать не будем, потому что, ну реально, он добрый. Он ничего не заслужил смерти. Пока еще не заслужил.
Tell me about yourself, Mr. Goswick.
I don't want to talk, Doctor.
Как это ты не хочешь? Я тут доктор вообще-то, ты чё? Я же спрашивал, нет?
How painful is your throat, Mr. Goswick?
So painful, I'd rather not talk at all, Doctor.
Понятно. Давай тогда
I'll
отдохнешь.
let you get some rest then.
Good evening, sir.
Чего там надо, я забыл.
Doctor.
Good evening, madam. Can I help you?
It's my son who needs you, sir.
I'm Dr. Jonathan
понял.
Reed. How can I help your son?
I'm Beatrice Goswick, mother of Mortimer Goswick. Could you
Я
check
могу
with
его
me,
осмотреть,
please, Dr.
с
Reed?
вашего позволения,
I've heard
конечно.
much of your talents as a physician.
Да, я очень талантливый врач и хирург, я очень опытный вампир. Расскажите о себе.
What can you tell me about yourself, Mrs. Goswick?
Not much to say. Just take care of my Mortimer and I'll cover all the expenses. That's all that matters.
Вы можете разместить свои соболезнования или пожертвования или доходы мне в карман, или просто дать мне свою кровь.
May I ask if you have an occupation, Mrs. Goswick?
I'm a teacher by profession. I teach young women who are more ambitious about their futures than
Во
their
имя чего
families.
лучшего будущего, понял?
Are you really more humble origin, if I may say so?
Yes, thanks to my husband. May he rest in peace. I can cover any needed medical expenses.
What do you think of your reception here? Any complaints?
I have had the uttermost reservations about this hospital since we arrived. But we had no other choice, considering the state of emergency.
Is there something in particular that's bothering you?
Some of the staff were not especially welcoming. I suspect they're not accustomed to dealing with patients of such social standing.
Tell me more about your arrival at the Pembroke Hospital. What gave you such a bad first impression?
The ambulance driver was quite rude, for a start. And that nurse, Miss Hawkins, seems to have quite a dubious attitude.
What do you mean?
She managed to secure a bed for my son despite the epidemic. It was a relief, but it wasn't cheap.
She charged you for a bed?
Yes, and I paid without question, considering the urgency of the situation.
I share your concern, Mrs. Goswick. Be sure that I'll talk to the people involved.
I don't expect compensation, Dr. Reed. But I'm aware such behavior would not be tolerated in other hospitals.
Do you require medical attention as well, Mrs. Goswick? Goodbye, Mrs. Goswick.
I'm all right. Don't waste your time with me.
My sweet girl. Reads me like a book.
Yes, Doctor?
Exactly how bad is the supply situation here at Pembroke?
It really depends. Dr. Swansea deftly works his society contacts for monies, but with the quarantine, well, we're in God's hands.
Please, could you point me in the direction of the morgue again?
It's the large boarded-up building behind the hospital. You can't miss it. The key I gave you will open the small back door to it.
Why then do you always work the nights? Don't you ever sleep?
At the Pembroke, we're always hands on deck.
Your dedication to the Pembroke does you credit, Nurse Crane, but when do you sleep?
We staff get our sleep when we can, Doctor. Nursing is a vocation, not the labor of a journeyman.
Lack of sleep and the medical profession always ends in disaster. I've witnessed many a colleague succumb to stimulants to fight exhaustion. Drugs were as deadly as bullets in the trenches.
London's trenches start here at Pembroke Hospital. We are on the front line, make no mistake.
That's all for now, Nurse Crane, thank you.
Still more coming.
I will not let you down, Michael.
Finally, you've returned, Doctor. Did you find anything of value?
Yes, nurse.
You've worked your first miracle, Doctor. Now, this patient here needs immediate treatment.
Duty calls. When the storm has passed, I'll show you how to mix the remedy yourself with the same basic ingredients.
Many thanks, Doctor. When you've finished, you ought to report to Dr. Swansea in his office. He's been looking for you. Seemed pressing.
Good evening, Mr. Goswick. How are you?
I'm okay.
Do you need any help?
I'm afraid I may, sir. I don't mean to be a burden.
You are not a burden, sir. Healing you is my responsibility.
And you have my gratitude for that.
I have to go now, sir. But don't hesitate to contact me if you need any help.
Please, Jonathan, come in. Fascinating, is it not? In the last decade, so many mysteries have been brought to light with our microscopes. The human body, biology's penultimate frontier. The more we explore its boundaries, the less we're able to trace a clear line between life and death. You, my friend, have a foot in both countries. The view must be vertiginous.
It's at least as vertiginous as chatting about vampires with you, I would say.
This must be all so new to you. This area of town, the hospital, a brand new life. How stimulating it must be.
I wish I could share your enthusiasm, Dr. Swansea. But my condition defies scientific categorization. Undead? Unalive? Immortality defies logic.
I cannot express my thrill at this serendipitous turn of events. The world's most eminent specialist in blood transfusions, a vampire. One might say a gift from heaven.
It may seem strange, but your words have brought me some comfort here.
Forgive me. I've been an admirer of your work for a long time, and now you are so much more than a brilliant physician. And please, call me Edgar.
I'm not some doe-eyed student, Edgar. I understand we both have something to gain from this relationship.
Very well. I have a task for you, Jonathan. Something that will require all your newfound skills.
Please, go on.
The Pembroke only survives through the generosity of our benefactors. Unfortunately, our main donor has found herself in a bit of a bind. Now, if you could help her out...
A spokesman or politician is what you need. That's not my calling. And until I come to understand what has happened to me, I require discretion.
Discretion is in order, Jonathan. Lady Ashbury has recently received rather indelicate correspondence that, if revealed, would jeopardize her position.
And you would like me to eradicate this threat?
By the stole, of course not. I would just like you to pay her a visit. Her ladyship is certainly near the tents outside, tending the sick. You can't miss her. Look for someone impossibly delicate.
Accepted. I'll see what kind of trouble Lady Ashbury is in.
flu took my dear wife, Emily. I take comfort knowing we'll soon be together again.
Mr. Rainfield, that's no way to talk. You're in good hands here, and we'll be up again soon enough. Now do me a kindness and get some sleep. I'll be back round later.
Your words are kind, the blessings of an angel. You're the sweet, sweet lady of mercy.
Good evening, Dr. Reed. It's a pleasure to see you again. You seem surprised. Dr. Swansea has brought me up to speed concerning your recent appointment to Pembroke Hospital.
You're a the lady who saved me that night, before vanishing into thin air. I remember you from the pub with Dr. Swansea.
Indeed. Allow me to introduce myself formally this time. My name is Lady Ashbury. I remember you well, in spite of the brevity of our encounter.
Apologies. You've taken me by surprise. I'm very happy to see you.
The pleasure is mine, Doctor.
I hope you're more disposed to answer my questions now.
You must have countless questions, but our rather urgent matter first. Swansea has explained. My cover, if you prefer, has been compromised.
Dr. Swansea has commissioned me to be your agent in this matter. You could start by explaining what's amiss.
These past insufferable weeks, I've been the victim of extortion. I've made a first payment, but the blackmailer grows greedy. I must refuse his most recent demands.
Please continue. Every detail is essential. I'm your man.
My embarrassment in this matter is eclipsed only by my shame at having put the hospital at risk. The threat from our anonymous scoundrel is clear. A list of dates. My visits coinciding with the dates of suspicious patient deaths due to massive blood loss.
I'll take care of it. Do you know where I should start?
If that was the case, I'd settle the matter myself. You could talk to our local gossip, Harriet Jones. Not a pin drops here without her hearing about it.
I'll meet that woman now.
My life, as others know, is in your hands, Dr. Reed. I'm sure of your discretion, but I do fear your powers of persuasion will be put to the test. When this is resolved, I'll be your obligé. I'll answer all questions in regards of your condition.
Simpletons, these nurses. Bred with no respect. What? What? What is this? Who are you? Get out of my room.
There's no need for alarm, madam. I'm Dr. Reed, the new surgeon.
Preposterous. Dr. Reed, you say? I don't want some bumbling intern. Where's Dr. Swansea?
If you continue shouting, I'll have you restrained and gagged. Understood?
How brave. Threatening an old defenseless woman. You know how long I've been a patient here. You've picked the wrong fight. I'm Harriet Jones.
Harriet Jones? Indeed. I've been meaning to have a chat with you. You know what goes on here better than any other patient, I gather.
Oh, better than any patient, nurse or doctor. I've seen so many vile undertakings.
I heard there have been some despicable goings-on. Was there a case of blackmail?
Blackmail? Wait. You're investigating something. This isn't a social call. One of those incompetent cunts slit a poor sod's vein.
I assure you, madam, this is not an investigation into a possible medical error.
Debauchery, then? Nurses Crane, Hawkins, Brannigans, whores, all of them. They can't keep their legs shut. I've seen them scratching slutty sores.
Really? Well, if you have irrefutable proof, I'll not have the staff behaving in such a manner here.
This is your business, Doctor, not mine. But I swear one of the nurses is cavorting with some man on hospital hours.
Thank you for your time, Miss Jones. You've given me something to go on. See you on the next round.
The patients and staff might know something. I'll start my investigation with them. What will...